Fresh roomies, here we go.
Downtown Lexington is often a predictable experience, whether that be some good music, good food, or just a good time. But who's expecting a poem?
Okay, fair enough.
He's a poet, and he certainly knows it. Curtis Kaiser becomes wiser with each poem he will write, typing away in downtown Lexington during the night.
Kaiser got his free poetry idea after finding a 1961 Smith Corona Skywriter in his attic. So he blew the dust off.
And it worked, and it was pretty cool. So I started messing with them and kind of got 4 typewriters, and I thought, well, there's probably something I could do with these.
Now, Curtis has been typing free poetry for over a year and crafted nearly 300 individualized poems for strangers he meets.
Y'all think of a subject?
On the streets.
All right, cool.
Curtis says the key to his success is the fact that he doesn't make a schedule, because then it just turns into a job.
Oh yeah, you're definitely framing this.
The last thing I want to do is make this kind of fun activity really structured and like beholden to somebody, because it's like, well, that's what my day job is for. I don't want that here.
During Curtis's day job, he's a mechanical engineer on a helicopter structural modifications team. And outside of making poetry for others, he doesn't practice or read much poetry, saying he doesn't want to imitate the styles of others or take this too seriously and throw handcuffs on it.
I'm really trying to be genuine and just deliver something that comes from me to somebody else. So trying to make sure I don't turn into some kind of funky like street performer or something like that. But it's been all kinds of reactions. Never angry though.
I love it so much.
Bada bang.
And he doesn't just do poems. Curtis can write, or should I say, type anything.
I can do limericks. I've done haiku before, and I've done like free verse. I've done fortune cookie kind of stuff. I've done anything and everything.
Curtis estimates a good 60% of people passing by stop and ask for a poem. He's even had people wait in line for up to 30 minutes. But once the poem is complete, the reactions show it's all worthwhile.
I love my poem. I think this is like a crazy gift that he can just hear so few words and then all of a sudden like can rhyme everything so quickly.
There's nothing more city than this.
I think it's a really cool idea. I think it's really fascinating to be able to meet other people and they start opening up because they will think about a topic that they really enjoy, or it's just a really funny thing to be able to get a funny poem about something that they enjoy.
So next time you're out and about, don't be surprised if you hear the question,
what would you want a poem about?
Because you might just end up with one. In Lexington, reporting for the Kentucky Colonel, I'm Bryce Toll.
The effects of Hurricane Helene are certainly prevalent on the University of Kentucky's campus. We're going to go around and ask the students what they think. Whew.
I lost my glasses. This umbrella that's not even mine also broke.
Glasses just flew off in that wind.
Yeah, they just flew off in the wind.
And they're gone?
Yeah, I don't know where they went. Like, I saw them go in a direction, but I couldn't find them whenever I walked in that direction. And I can't really see where they are, so.
How do you feel knowing that the University of Louisville canceled classes today?
I think that is a good choice, and I think the University of Kentucky also should have done that.
How's Hurricane Helene affecting you?
It's been so great. We just walked like 2 minutes and my umbrella's already broken. Yeah, we're doing great.
Yeah, how's Hurricane Helene treating y'all?
It's treating me bad. I just walked through the hurricane. Do you hear me? Okay? We are in Kentucky. We shouldn't have did that.
I gotta put this up in here just to show y'all. Like this, like an Avenger. Like walking like this. They need to cancel classes and everything. Shut the campus down.
You would think since the last girl got blown across campus, they would cancel classes. But obviously they did not learn, okay? I got layers on and my layers under my layers are wet. That's a problem.
How's Hurricane Helena?
I hate it. You see what I'm wearing at the moment, and I'm dripping head to toe. It's not good.
You think UK should have canceled classes?
Yeah, I canceled it myself. I didn't go.
I used to run these streets right outside. Get into all types of nefarious things, sell drugs, and I found myself in federal prison. While I was there, I was just looking around and I was like, I gotta be better than this environment that I created. I just really had to challenge God, and I remember saying a prayer like, if you can prove to me that you're real, I'll be one of your most loyal soldiers. And I started to watch God move, and he proved to me that he was real.
And that's when Terry Dumport left his life of crime and created the Voyage movement. Its mission? To give back to the community and serve kids through the same neighborhood he once sold drugs. Whether it's playing arcade games, talking about life, or using his music producing skills to connect with young rappers, his center provides a safe haven for kids.
I think it's needed for one, and for two, it's kind of like a redemption. It gives you a way to restore some of the wrongs that you made. We do a lot of wraparound services. We have a food pantry in the back, clothing closet. About 50 youth come in every day. They get free drinks, free snacks. We kind of assess the needs of the kids who come in. Some of them may have holes in their shoes. We try to meet those needs. So it's like a safe space for the youth in the community.
He says he hopes these kids, including his own daughters, will see how he's changed his own story and decide to make smart choices.
I think it's important to lead by example. My daughter, she's been coming here passing out snacks to kids since she was 3. She's 7 now. So you setting the tone of servitude, look out for your neighbor.
Terry's journey is a testament to the power of change, but it's not only about transforming his life, it's about showing others that redemption is possible.
He's like a beacon, man. Like, he's like a beacon of hope, a change, for our students.
Congrats, man.
One of the things that Terry always talks about is giving back. It's not work, because we know that we have an opportunity to potentially impact somebody's life.
Dumport says it's not just about changing the lives of the youth, but giving them a sense of purpose and the power to change their community. So he had an idea and created a mentorship at Success Academy in Lexington, where he mentors students to rap about pushing peace.
In our culture, especially in mainstream, it's unbalanced. You have a lot of gun violence, gang violence. It's just a lot of low energy being perpetuated on our youth, and some of that's playing out in reality, and you're seeing, the outcomes of a lot of gang violence. We just lost a young man we was mentoring last week to gun violence.
I feel like it's a good impact on teenagers my age nowadays, because it's a lot going on in the world today.
Ain't you tired of all them sirens coming down on your street? Can you put your gun down instead?
I feel like me being able to make music and be lyrical and write down about peace, it's a good way.
It gives me a sense of I have people that care about me. It gives me a sense of, okay, you're not a bad person. You're doing something right.
Honestly, it just made me feel like I'm talented, I can do anything. Because if I could talk about stuff I've been through along the way that's been past stuff, I could do anything for real.
Students say they're worried about meeting the cost of their course materials. On average, textbooks cost between $110 and $150. Meanwhile, the price of ebooks have risen by more than 35% over a 12-month period. All of this has UK looking to do course materials a different way, not just by the book. According to police, the victim was walking near this intersection of Rose Street and Euclid Avenue, just feet from the UK Police Department station. But KYTC hasn't been alone in the effort. Kentucky lawmakers have also taken the initiative to address problems faced in the work zone. So while the crane builds somewhat of a community, it's really here to help build UK's newest health education building, which will be the largest academic building on campus. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon moves between the Earth and the sun, blocking the light of the sun from reaching the Earth. A disappointing eclipse happens whenever the clouds get in the way of it all, with boarded up windows and broken glass serving as reminders of yet another shooting near UK's campus. UK's police chief says the department is again increasing its security measures.
We're taking more of an aggressive approach than we ever have.
For the second time this semester, UKPD is announcing increased patrols on the north part of campus. The changes come after a Sunday morning shooting at Raising Cane's off Winslow Street.
This is not going to be tolerated around our campus or on our campus.
The shooting left bullet holes in the windows of the eSports Lounge and students in the area running for cover.
Kind of frightening, because I'm not really used to that.
UK freshman Uchenna Wafia was behind the register at Raising Cane's when shots rang out.
So my manager screams at me to get down, and I get down behind the counter, and there's just a bunch of people running outside of the restaurant.
Sunday's shooting was not a first for this area. Early in the semester, 2 men were shot near this intersection. For that reason, the police chief says students will see more officers patrolling by foot, bike, and vehicle on weekends. Additionally, UK has installed large temporary floodlights on Winslow Street and will limit entry to nearby parking garages, all in an effort to make the area safer for students.
I think it's a safe campus, but there definitely needs to be a little bit of changes to where college kids, because college kids are over there all the time. If there's that much problems going on in that area, something needs to be done, because those are your students over there.
The department is also currently evaluating plans to add more cameras, permanent lighting, and these blue emergency towers to this area. On the north side of campus, I'm Edward Smith for the Kentucky Colonel. In the heat of a campaign season, there are many issues and candidates to debate over. One of those issues is specific to Lexington and its parks and could cost property owners more in taxes. On the ballot this year for Lexington residents is the Park Fund program. If voters approve, the program would add a 2.25-cent tax to every $100 of assessed property value. The funds from that tax would be used for improvements at the city's existing parks.
Parks are, to me, an essential combination with all the other stuff that we do in the city.
The property tax would cost the average property owner around $50 a year, leading to around $8 million in funds annually. Michael Potapov with Trees Lexington believes the parks desperately need that money.
So over time, we've not been able to invest in these upgrades as a city. As a result, there's over $120 million in these deferred capital projects.
But others are not so happy about the tax and warn the initiative could actually hurt the parks. Paul Oliva lives just down the road from Veterans Park.
They're trying to play catch up a little bit for the neglect of the past 10 years, but they're also a little bit out of touch.
He says he doesn't have to look far to begin worrying about the referendum passing.
My concern is that the situation with this park, and you can see, the dead trees here, 100 were planted. I'd say 40 to 50% died.
He points out the parks aren't getting the care they need and won't through this fund program because the money can only be used for capital projects, not upkeep cost, meaning maintenance could either fall behind or more funds could be taken from other city programs.
When they need money for something, services for the poor tend to be the first thing they cut. So I'm worried that's going to be the case here.
In Lexington, I'm Edward Smith for the Kentucky Colonel. Throughout most of the 2024 presidential race, the talk has been about Trump and Harris. Tonight, the attention was on the vice presidential candidates, all while UK students get closer to casting their vote for president. It was a battle taking place on the bottom of the ticket.
And I want to answer the question.
And being watched in a room on UK's campus.
Summer and misspoke.
Democratic Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Republican Ohio Senator J.D. Vance faced off in a debate seen by students ready to give them a grade.
Leadership like Governor Walz offers is critical. I think JD's done very well.
On one side of the room, Jack Backer watched in support of Trump and Vance's border policies.
My family, we're in the funeral business. Once a week, we see somebody that has overdosed from fentanyl, coming from our southern border.
On the other side of the room and political aisle, Sawyer No watched in support of the Harris-Walz campaign's positions.
Well, I think that you see tonight immigration and abortion at the forefront of the political issues being discussed, and I think the Governor Walz did quite well on both.
While both have differing views on who won the debate, both agree this debate wins on substance when compared to the presidential debates.
yeah, I think we've really gotten to know what each campaign really stands for. Last time, we just kind of had a screaming match.
While students agree the more than 90-minute debate was informative, many believe the debate won't make as much of an impact on the election, which is less than 40 days away.
I think that the debates with the presidential candidates will matter quite a bit more. And I think that beyond the debates, Americans have largely already decided.
As of right now, there aren't any more scheduled debates for the vice presidential or presidential candidates. For more on debate reaction and the latest on the presidential race, head over to kykernel.com. I'm Edward Smith for the Kentucky Kernel.
Urgent. Avoid the area.
It's a sound that has played multiple times during the fall semester.
Shots fired.
Because the sound of gunfire has erupted twice near UK's campus. That while a UK student was robbed at gunpoint, and emails informing students of on-campus sexual assaults filled inboxes. As these incidents occurred mainly in the North Campus area, worries started to fill the minds of students like Zachary Wells, who lives in a nearby apartment.
And I walk through here a lot. You'd like that to be farther from campus.
And freshman Uchenna Wafia, who came to clock in for his nightly shift at Raising Cane's, but clocked out of a crime scene as gunfire erupted.
My manager screams at me to get down, and I get down behind the counter, and there's just a bunch of people running outside of the restaurant.
Or freshman Nicholas Livingston, who moved in one weekend ready for college life, but got something different the following weekend.
And I heard the gunshots, so I look out the window, and I see this male being dragged across the street, and I was like, oh my God.
Also, the female students who've expressed their concern over recent sexual assaults and hesitancy to go out at night.
I don't know, it is scary that it's happening so often, around us. And it makes me nervous, at nighttime to walk around here a little bit.
If there's that much problems going on in that area, something needs to be done because those are your students over there.
All of them looking for answers. Since many of these incidents have occurred on the periphery of the North Campus area, they often fall within Lexington Police Department's jurisdiction. So once again, I sat down with UKPD Chief Joe Monroe to discuss his department's relationship with Lexington Police and the evolving dynamics of crime on the outside of campus.
I won't say that it's unsafe, but I will say it's changed.
Over the last 30 years, Monroe has watched as the areas near campus have become more active at night, bringing in different clientele and at times more crime.
You're seeing a different population that's encroaching on our campus. It's not our students. Now you're seeing more and more people who aren't affiliated with the university coming to those establishments. So does that create some issues? Yeah.
And Monroe says that's required a different response from his department.
Then I have to focus a lot more on fortifying the campus perimeters to protect you all.
I reached out to the Lexington Police Department for an interview about their approach to policing in the areas near campus. They declined, but did offer the following statement saying, quote, "When violent crime occurs near campus or in our community, we reach out to our community partners such as UKPD to address issues." Chief Monroe says the Lexington Police Department has increased its presence surrounding campus. The department has 293 sworn patrol officers. 97 of those are assigned to the central part of the city. When broken down by shift, 38 officers work the central sector during the day, 30 work in the evening, and 29 overnight. However, that number is lower than what it should be. According to records obtained by the Kentucky Kernel, the Lexington Police Department says there are 103 vacant sworn positions, a number Monroe wishes was lower.
I think they're stretched very thin. Lexington is grossly understaffed because of the policing shortage in our country right now. So they have a lot of vacancies, which means their staffing on the streets is less.
As for UK's force of 77 authorized officers, the department is continually evaluating the North Campus area and has created a committee focused solely on addressing issues in that part of campus, all while students return for the spring semester.
People are paying attention now. I think for so long we focused on campus and not the peripheral. So now we're seeing more and more people that are aware of what's going on the peripheral campus and say, hey, we got to do something. So going into the next semester, I feel good because we have a good solid foundation on where we're headed.
Reporting in Lexington, I'm Edward Smith for the Kentucky Kernel.